Myself, G. Mahesh Kumar, Assistant Professor of Chemistry. Today, in the environmental sustainability, we are going to discuss about the concept of sustainable development, population and its explosion, crazy consumerism. Okay, concept of sustainable development, population and its explosion, crazy consumerism is a topic today we are going to discuss in the environmental sustainability. Okay, coming to what actually these topics that covered in this introduction to the sustainable development. What is sustainable development? Examples of sustainable development. What are the sustainable development principles? Threats to sustainability, population explosion, consumerism, crazy consumerism, and conclusion of this sustainable development and examples of sustainable development, sustainability principles, threats to sustainability, population explosion, consumerism, crazy consumerism, and conclusion of this. Coming to what actually this introduction to the sustainable development. Introduction to the sustainable development. What actually this is done? The sustainable development first came into prominence in the year 1980 by World Conservation Strategy, that is called WCS. The term sustainable development first came into the prominence in the World Conservation Strategy in 1980. It is achieved a new status with the publication of two significant reports by Brundtland on North and South, a program for survival and common crisis in 1985. Okay, a new status with the publication of two significant reports by Brundtland on North and South, a program on survival and common crisis 1985. Our common future 1983 has gained even greater attention since United Nations Conference on Environment. United Nations Conference on Environment, which was in the year 1983, even greater attention on environment development. United Nations Conference on Environment and Development. The full form of UNCED is a United Nations United Nations Conference on environment and development. Environment and development that is held in the Rio de Janeiro in the June 1992. Okay, here the common future has gained even greater attention since the United Nations Conference on Environment and Development held in the Rio de Janeiro in the June 1992. In the June 1992. What actually the sustainable development? What actually the development is? Development means it is a gradual growth of situation that becomes more advanced and strong than previous one. Okay, gradual development in the general development in the gradual growth of situation that becomes more advanced and stronger than previous one. Okay, whatever the previous one, to that what we have given important, what we have given growth to the previous one is nothing but a gradual development of a growth from the previous one is nothing but the development. Here development is intended to bring a positive change for human being, positive change for a human being and its surroundings. Okay, the main aim of the development is to bring a positive change for human being and its surroundings. Here development may take place by bringing about a change in policy, projects and legislations. Okay, what actually this development takes place by bringing about a change in policy, projects and legislations. Policy, projects and legislations. Development is a unfolding of human potentials for meaningful participation. Development is a unfolding of human potentials for meaningful participation in economic, social, political, cultural process and institutions. So people can improve their conditions. Development is a unfolding of human potentials for meaningful participation in economic, social development, political development, cultural development, and institutional level development, so that people that can improve their conditions is nothing but the development. Human potentials for the meaningful participation in the economic, social, political, and cultural process and institutions, so that people can improve their conditions. What is sustainable development? Okay, sustainable development is a development that means meet the demands of the present situation without compromising the ability of future generation. Okay, sustainable development is nothing but the development that meets the demands of present generation without compromising the future generation is nothing but the sustainable development. Here, Grow Harlem Brundtland, the first introduced the concept of sustainable development in the year 1987. Okay, here, Brundtland, the first Harlem Brundtland is the first introduced the concept of sustainable development in the year 1987. He was the Prime Minister of Norway and Chairman of World Commission on Environment and Development. World Commission on Environment and Development. What actually the development is? Sustainable development is nothing but the development that meets the need of present without compromising the future generation is nothing but sustainable development. Brundtland is the first to introduce the concept of sustainable development in the year 1987. He was the Prime Minister of Norway and the Chairman of World Commission on Environment and Development. World Commission, WCED. World Commission on Environment and Development is the Minister of Norway, Chairman, the Prime Minister who gave the sustainable development. Okay, what is the concept of sustainable development? Yes, sustainable development is defined as meeting the needs of present without compromising the ability of future generation to meet the uh, needs of their own needs. This definition was given by Prime Minister G.H. Brundtland, who was also the director of World Health Organization. Okay, the Brundtland is given the definition of sustainable development, that means need of present without compromising the future generation needs is nothing but sustainable development. Until now, the now development has been human oriented and two mainly for the few rich nations. They have touched the greatest heights of scientific and technological development, but at what cost? Okay, the great heights of scientific and technological development, but at what cost? The air was air we breathe, the water we drink, the air we breathe, the water we drink, and food we eat have all been badly polluted. Have been badly polluted. The air we breathe, the water we drink, and the food we eat have their badly polluted. In the United Nations Conference on Environment and Development (UNCED), popularly known as the Earth Summit held at Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, the Declaration of Rio Declaration aims at a new and equitable global partnership. The new and equitable global partnership through the creation of new levels of cooperation among states. Rio Declaration aims at a new and equitable global partnership through the creation of new levels of cooperation among the states. Out of five significant agreements, Agenda 21 proposes a global program of action on sustainable development. Out of five significant agreements, Agenda 21 proposes a global program of action on sustainable development. This followed by UN World Summit on Sustainable Development (WSSD). Okay, Union World Summit on Sustainable Development in Johannesburg, South Africa in 2002 was emphasized on national strategies for sustainable development. Okay, Union United Nations World Summit on Sustainable Development in Johannesburg, South Africa in 2002, who emphasized on national strategies for sustainable development. What are the key aspects for the sustainable development is intergenerational equality, intragenerational equality. There are two equalities in the key aspects of sustainable development. One is inter, and next one is intra. One is intergenerational equity. Next one is intragenerational equity. Now, what is intergenerational equity? Intergenerational equity is this emphasizes that we should minimize any diverse impact on resources, environment for future generation. Environment for future generation, we should have hand over a safe, healthy, and resourceful environment to future generation. Hand over a safe, healthy, and resourceful environment to future generation. It can be possible only if stop over exploitation of resources. Okay, it can be possible only if we stop over exploitation of resources, reduce waste discharge and emission, and maintain ecological balance. Here, in the intergenerational equity, it is the main emphasis that we should minimize any adverse impact on resources and the environment for future generation. We should hand out the safe, healthy, and resourceful environment to future safe, healthy, and resourceful environment to future generation. It is possible only if we stop over exploitation of resources, reduce waste discharge and emission, and maintain ecological balance. Intragenerational equity. What actually the intragenerational equity is? Here, it emphasizes that development process should seek to minimize wealth gap within the and between the nations. It should seek to minimize the wealth gaps within and between the nations. The Human Development Report of United Nations 2001 emphasizes that benefits of technology should seek to achieve goals of intra-generational equity. The technology should address the problems of developing countries, producing the drought tolerance varieties for uncertain climates, vaccines, infectious diseases, clean fuels for domestic and industrial use. The technology should address the problems of developing countries producing drought tolerance varieties for uncertain climates, vaccines for infectious diseases, clean fuel for domestic and industrial use. This type of technological development will stop the economic growth of the poor countries and help in narrowing the wealth gap and lead to the sustainability. This type of technological development will support the economic growth of poor countries and help in narrowing the wealth gap and lead to the sustainability. Examples of sustainable development. Solar energy. For example, take the solar energy. The great advantages of solar energy that completely free. It is available in a limitless supply. Okay, solar energy that is from the sun. It is completely free and available in limitless supply. Both of these factors provide a huge benefit to consumers and help reduce pollution. Replacing non-renewable energy with this type of energy is both environmentally and financially effective. Wind energy. Second example is wind energy, another readily available wind energy source. Harnessing is the power of wind energy necessitates the use of windmills. Use of windmills. Examples of sustainable development. However, due to the construction cost and finding of suitable location, the kind energy is meant to service more than the individual. Here, wind energy can supplement or even replace the cost of green power. Therefore, may be a good investment and remains a great example for sustainable development. Crop rotation. Farming practices is beneficial in several ways. Most notably because it is a chemical-free crop rotation has been providing a maximum growth potential of land while also preventing the disease and insects in the soil. Not only it can form the development benefit commercial farmers but also aid who garden at the home. Okay, it is crop rotation. Farming practices is a beneficial in several ways. Most notable because it is a chemical free. Crop rotation has been proven the maximum growth potential of the land and while also preventing the disease insects in the soil. Not only that, are also form the development benefit commercial farmers, but also it can be laid that who garden at home. What are the benefits of efficient water fixtures? According to EPA, here it took a lot of energy to produce transport water and to process wastewater, since less than 1% of its available water supply is fresh water. Available water supply is fresh water. It is important that sustainable water is employed at individual and societal level. Individual and societal level. According to WB Madsen Department of Urban and Regional Planning, advantages of green spaces include helping regulate air quality and climate, reducing the energy consumption by countering the warming effects of paved surfaces, recharging groundwater supplies and protecting the lakes and stream flow from the polluted runoff. Polluted runoff. Here it is a efficient water fixtures and also green space. What are the outcomes of sustainable development? The desired outcomes of the sustainable development is clean water and air, fertile soil and good food, a livelihood and health economy, an optimum population size, a safety from poverty, poor and disease, social contact and sense of community, work rest and celebration, opportunities to learn, halting the global warming. Halting the global. These are some of the outcomes of sustainable development. Here, clean water and air, fertile soil and good food, livelihood and healthy economy, an optimum population size, safety from poverty and disease, social contact and sense of community, work rest and celebration, population opportunities to learn, halting of global warming. Principles of sustainable society are respect and care for the community of life, respect and care for the community of life, improve to the quality of human life, improve to the, we are, by using these principles, we are going to improve the quality of human life and also the conserve the earth vitality and diversity, minimize the depletion on non-renewable resources, keep within the earth carrying capacity, change attitudes and practices, enable communities to care with their own environment, provide national framework for integrating development and conservation, create a global alliance. Create a global alliance. These are some of the principles of sustainable society are respect and care for the community life and uh, improve the quality of human life, conserve the earth vitality and diversity, minimize the depletion of non-renewable resources, keep within the earth carrying capacity, change attitudes and practices, enable the communities to care for the own environment, provide a national framework for integrating and development conservation, create a global alliance. Some more principles are reduce the dependence upon the fossil fuels and underground metals, minerals, reduce the dependence on synthetic chemicals and other unnatural substances, reduce encroachment upon nature, meet human needs fairly and efficiently, old and new approaches to human use of atmosphere. Old and new approaches to the old and new approaches to the human use of atmosphere. Sustainability development goals. Okay, first one is there are some 17 goals are there. First one, no poverty, zero hunger. Next, good health and well-being, good quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation. Sixth goal is, seventh goal is affordable and clean energy. Eighth goal is decent work and economic growth, industry and innovation infrastructure, reduce inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, climate action, life below water, life on land, peace, justice, and strong institution, partnership for the goals. Okay, these are some of the goals for the sustainable development. No poverty, zero energy, uh, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industry innovation and infrastructure, reduced inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, climate action, life below water, life on land, peace, justice, and strong institution partnerships for the goals. What are the threats to the sustainability? Okay, as unprecedented population growth and the demands for the more and more resources meet their needs in era of consumerism have become the one of the threat to the sustainability. Okay, as the population is growing day by day, and the need, demands for the need also more, and resources to meet the needs also more. So, in an era of consumerism, have become a threat to the sustainability. The major threats to the sustainability we are going to discuss here. One is population explosion, consumerism, exploitation. The three major threats to be discussed here are population explosion, consumerism, over exploitation. What is population? Definition of population explosion. It is defined as population is a group of people or animals of particular area living in a space, living in a particular region is called as a population. What is explosion? Sudden or very fast increasing population is nothing but population explosion. It's a rapid growth. Population explosion is the rapid growth of world population over the past 100 years, result from the difference between the rate of birth and rate of death. Okay, rapid growth of world population over the past 100 years result from the difference between the rate of birth and the rate of death. Human population will increase by 1 billion people in the next decade. Human population is increased by 1 billion people in the next decade. What are the causes of population explosion? What happens if the increase in the population takes place? Decreases the death rate with major reason. Decreases the death rate was one of the major reason. Improvement in the public health, high birth rate, lack of education, migration, medical technology, along with the gains in the education and standards of living with the many developing nations. Early marriage and universal marriages. These are the causes of population explosion. There was been a dramatic reduction in the doubling time of global women population in the 20th century. In the 20th century, women population has grown much faster than even before. Between 19 to 1990, just 40 years, the population across crossed 5 billion marks with current addition of 92 billion every year. So, to say adding a new Mexico every year, in the year 2000, world population was 6.3 billion and it is predicted to grow 4 times in the next 100 years. This is unprecedented growth of women population at alarming rate is referred as, okay, this increase in the unprecedented growth of population, women population at alarming rate is referred as population explosion. Population clock. Every second, on an average, 4 to 5 children are born and 2 people are died, thus resulting in net gain of nearly 2.5 people every second. This means that every hour we are growing about 9,000 and every day we are about 2 lakhs 14,000. 2 lakhs 14,000. As a result, the ecological life support system are getting uh, increasing. There is a fierce debate on this issue as to whether we should immediately reduce the fertility rates through worldwide birth control programs in order to stabilize or even shrink the population, or whether human beings will devise new technologies for the alternative resources. So the problems of crossing the carrying capacity of Earth will never go. Here, Malthian theory, according to Malthus, human population tend to grow at exponential or compound rate, whereas food production increases very slowly, remains stable. Therefore, starvation, poverty, disease, and crime and misery are invisibly associated with population explosion. It believes that positive checks like famines, death, outbreak, and violence, as well as preventive checks like birth control, need to stabilize the population growth. Marxian theory, Karl Marx, population growth is a symptom rather than cause of poverty. Resource depletion, overcrowding, unemployment, environmental degradation, that in turn causes the overpopulation, that is leads to population explosion. Effects of population explosion. What are the effects? Overuse of natural resources like water, land, soil, natural forest. Increase in the food demand, increase in the water generation, increase in the demand of medical facilities, shortage of education facilities, unemployment, increase in the crime rate, poverty, energy crisis, overcrowding of cities, child abuse. All these are the some of the effects of population explosion. Population explosion. Here, references we are going to use for this is Robertson, Margaret, Sustainability Principles and Practices, Routledge, Taylor and Francis Group 2017, Responsibility for Teaching Sustainability in this context, General of Sustainability Education. These are the two references. One is Robertson, Margaret, Sustainability Principles and Practices, Routledge, Taylor and Francis Group 2017. One more is responsibility for teaching sustainability in the context general of sustainability development. These are the two references we are going to follow for the sustainability, environmental sustainability. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.